Most techno sequences sound the same. 16 steps, perfectly aligned, predictable. That's why they get boring fast, but it's easy to fix. So let's jump into Ableton to solve this problem. So here in Ableton I've already loaded up some things. First of all, the well-known ML185 sequencer and the Moog Mariana, which is one of my favorite VST synths. If you're interested in that, the link is down below. Check it out. It's a very good sounding analog synth. Okay, so this is our sequence right here. Pretty steady, pretty boring, and we now have to make it more interesting, right? So the first thing is, what we want to do in a boring sequence is to make some changes, but not only some changes, but some variations, which are not maybe that predictable. Also, one thing I really like to do is to change the speed of the sequencer. So if we try this one. And so on. The thing is, I really don't like the ML185 right now. Let's try another sequencer. Maybe the Mod Snake. The sequencer is more versatile because I have a lot more options right here. And if you pay focus, let's take a key right here. And let's say we want... I press random all first. So this is our sequence right now, and now let's try to slow it down a bit. So this is the slowed down version. What you can also do to make a sequence more interesting is to set some polyrhythms, but only at one sequencer, let's say. So what I've done here is I basically set the node sequencer to a length of 6 steps and left the gate still 8 steps. So the first sequencer runs in polyrhythm, and this is how the sequence gets more complex and more interesting, right? We can go even further and say, okay, I map maybe this filter right here. There's the custom sequencer. I can map this one to the filter. But let's say I leave it on 8 and put everything back. Also what I like to do is to load on the pitch right here and just pitch it around. And what I can do right here is to set also this one to a polyrhythm. Let's say maybe 7 steps. I can go even further and say, okay, I have a second one here and a third one right there. So you can map a lot of parameters and make a very complex sequence. But in techno, we don't want always that complex sequence. So I don't want to get too weird on this one. Let's go back and I random it all again. I also want to try an operator. Now I take the second one. This is a pretty good sequence, right? So yeah, what I basically did here is I made a polyrhythm with the notes, left the gate length at 8, so you locked the rhythm. So every time you define a gate, there is also a note, but it can be a different note because it's playing a different rhythm, right? And then I've set the polyrhythm on the oscillator right here and left the filter also on a normal sequence. So it's still somehow in the grid of techno, of these steps, but in this grid, it makes its own changes. And now you can go even further and say, okay, I like this sequence. I pitch it up. So this is the original sequence. And here is the top sequence. So I've just layered the sequence, and you can leave this sequence and come with a layer over time. Maybe in the break to add more energy. So you can build up energy like this, especially in the breakups or during the track, whatever, get creative with this one. But this is how you can get a sequence very interesting, you know, not only the sequence, but maybe get a layer with the same sequence on another pitch with different effects, different processing, maybe different sound design, whatever. Layer is the key. And yeah, with these techniques you can get some very interesting sequences. So I hope I could help you out with some of these tips and make your sequences even better. If you have any questions or something, leave them in the comments down below. If you don't want to miss any valuable tips in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and see you in the next video.